I'm currently working on a project to convert a Game Boy into a console that works on a TV. And in order to control the Game Boy, I want to use a NES controller and use the inputs from a NES controller to control the Game Boy on the big TV. So the problem is that the inputs, even though they look the same, are interpreted differently on a NES or NES to a Game Boy. In a NES controller, they've got a thing called a shift register that converts the up, down, left, right, start, select, A and B from 8 separate signals into one byte of information, which is 8 ones or zeros, the binary. So as you can see over here, when there's no buttons pressed, they're all ones. So if I press the left button or the right button, these two ones here would change. Now I have some controller code on here that reads the inputs. Now I haven't got the controller wired up to this because I want to be able to essentially emulate or replicate what the shift register does in here with this shift register here. So this essentially is what a NES controller actually is this shift register with a few resistors and some switches or buttons that pull it down to ground, which is the 0 signal. So this button here is actually the right button. And as you can see in the, sorry, I need to scroll down, that the right button is being switched on and off. So that there's it off, which is a 1, and on when it's a 0. And here's the left button when I switch that. Now, as you can see, on a normal controller, you wouldn't be able to press left and right together. But on this test bed, this emulation of a controller, I can press left and right together. So this allows me to do some interesting tests as I do this. So I'm going to wire up the rest of the buttons and then use another shift register that converts the signals from this shift register into the same signals of a Game Boy, so that when I press a button, a left or a right on a actual NES controller, it will be converted into a Game Boy's signals.